Hello, everyone. We have one of the biggest names in the upcoming freshman class, 2029 class. Let's go ahead and have her introduce herself, if I can speak this morning.
Hi, I'm Izze Austin. I go to Minnetonka and I play for the Minnesota Fury and I am a point guard.
There we go. Well, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking time to do this. I want to, let's, like I said, one of the biggest names, that freshman class. You guys are one of those deep classes coming in right now. But let's go all the way back to the beginning. What's some of your earliest memories of playing basketball?
I my parents, they wanted me to go into every sport because
Smart.
I was a very athletic kid. So I just kind of, I always wanted to play and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
they just thought, oh, we're going to put her in all the sports and see which one, she turns out liking. But I started playing like rec basketball when I was in kindergarten then. And my dad would coach us, and I just played with my schoolmates. But I played that until third grade, and I just, fell in love with it, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
What was it about basketball that maybe stood out the most in terms of like kind of that fit your style, your athleticism, kind of stuff like that? What was it about basketball?
I liked how one, it was just like basketball is such an active sport. There's always things happening, up and down, and also just like you kind of get to decide what happens next, which I really like about that.
I like
Um,
that.
Yeah. And when I was younger, I remember not liking to take direction from other people. I was really bad at dance and stuff like that because I couldn't do choreography or whatnot.
Fair.
But yeah, that's what I think I really like about the sport.
Fair. So for someone that hasn't seen your game yet, they're missing out. How would you describe yourself as a player?
I would say I'm a very versatile player. I can play both sides of the floor. You know, I'm a very good communicator. I think I'm a pretty good
Mm-hmm.
leader on the floor. Um, I am a very good finisher around the rim. I can score in a multiple different ways. And I can shoot well. Um, I can drive. I finish well. But also on the other side of the ball, I'm very aggressive on defense. I'd say even though I'm a smaller um, or I'm shorter height, I still really good with rebounding
Mm-hmm.
and I, lock down defense.
Yeah.
And I just communicate well.
So defense is not something, especially like at a younger age, that's not something a lot of players really thrive at or even try and strive at. What about defense was something that you knew that like you wanted to be impactful on that side of the ball?
I remember when I was just younger, I like loved like just getting steals and like I
Mm-hmm.
liked, you know, I feel like offense is great, but defense, as the saying goes, defense wins championships.
Mm-hmm.
And I always believed that. And I don't know, I just like anticipating what the next team is gonna do and like I don't know, just being a dog. I feel like it's just like it feels good, when you're like working hard and like a coach, you might not be the best on offense, but if you're a really good defender,
Mm-hmm.
the coach won't take you out. They can't take you out.
Coach's dream, someone that wants to like thrive on defense. It's I said you're kind of cut from the same cloth of like a Jordan Odie who really
Hmm.
loved that side of the ball and kind of used it to almost kickstart her other end of the game. So keep doing that. You talked about being a leader. Is that a natural thing that comes to you? Is something you had to work at being kind of a leader? What would you? How did that evolve? You being one of those leaders on the court.
When I was younger, I definitely liked my saying things, and I did work up to being a leader because a lot of times in new environments I'd be quiet and shy and stuff like that. But I kind of just tried putting myself out there, and you know, I think that it did come pretty naturally though. Just growing up and like my parents and my mom, they're both leaders. They're
Mm-hmm.
both high where they're at. And I definitely learned from them. And I also learned from the people around me. Um, and like for my older upperclassmen, I learned how, their leadership works. And even though I am younger, I do want to strive to be like that leader.
Love it. So that segues in pretty well. Going into new environments. First, you're coming over to Minnetonka High School. What's your first few weeks been like? I know there's school and you've had like I know there's summer breakfast club and stuff like that. What are those first few weeks at Minnetonka been like so far?
They have been really fun. We started, obviously, we had breakfast club in the mornings throughout
Mm-hmm.
the summer. And, it's nice getting in the gym and, like, knowing and learning about everyone and just learning more about the Minnetonka program. But Minnetonka it's amazing what they do for the basketball program. They have their own separate like booster club for the
Mm-hmm.
program. And it's just like so many new things, which I'm so excited for. And also I love my teammates. They've been super welcoming and helpful. If I was lost in school, I could
Mm-hmm.
just text one of them and they'd help me find,
Fair.
where I'm going. And they're also really fun to play with. I enjoy playing with them. And it's just like they all communicate well, which I can definitely appreciate. And, they all want to work really hard and they have the same kind of goals as I do. So I can really appreciate that. And then we've just had lifting like
Fair.
every week, which has been nice because at my old school we didn't really have that like lifting consistently. So I really appreciate that as well.
So coming in with new coach, Coach Dre, someone you're familiar with, do you feel that's helped the transition a little bit on the basketball court, at least in terms of like his style, kind of his expectations and whatnot?
Yeah, I think for sure it helps him and myself, knowing
Mm-hmm.
him. And obviously, it was a little bit nerve wracking at first, but it's nice to see, yeah, a familiar face. And also, one of my close friends, his daughter July, also moved with me, so it was nice having her too, going with the same thing. And I definitely think he did help in that, and it helped that I knew like what was going to happen, what's going on, which is nice.
Fair. So you stayed in the same conference, went to, Minnetonka, but in the Lake Conference, which is a monster in the state of Minnesota. That is, I mean, you have the Hopkins, now the Maple Grove, St. Michael, Minnetonka, Wayzata, all of them are in their EP. Describe for someone, you played it, at Edina, and you're playing now in Minnetonka. Describe the Lake Conference. Like, how does that prepare you as a player? Like, it is a dogfight. It is a massive undertaking every game. Describe what it's like playing in the Lake Conference.
Um, so when I was younger, like seventh grade, not too young, um, like I remember I first played like varsity,
Mm-hmm.
and I played against Daddy Mac my first game ever. I had to guard her,
Welcome to the
and
game.
I just
Welcome to
remember,
varsity.
I know, um, I just remember like the definitely like big change it has. It's so quick, it's so fast, and like anyone can do anything. And I
Mm-hmm.
also remember, we played Hopkins and we lost them both years in sections when I was at Edina. But I just remember there being like so much anticipation in that game. Like everyone can like do everything. They have their own things, and there's so many like little details that you have to like know about the other players going
Mm-hmm.
into it. I remember that whole week we had practice what to do on certain players, how to guard them, how to stop what their strengths are. So there's just like a lot more like attention to detail. Um, and it's also, like more is like more on the line. Um, and there's also a lot of good rivalries and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely it's definitely a really, big conference, and anyone who plays in it is really good as well.
Fair. So I said upcoming season. I don't know if we know a schedule yet. First time in Minnetonka. You guys are one of those teams that's up there is like really deep, really talented. Has there been a discussion like what the expectations are? Is it championship or bust? Are we taking it day by day? Kind of what's the feel around the team coming into the season?
Well, knowing Dre, his goal is always to win the state championship, and I'd say mine is too because we are really deep, and we can definitely,
Mm-hmm.
if we put our mind to it, inch by inch, we can definitely win a state championship. I know we have, every position on the floor, and we have a lot of really good players. So I'd say, yeah, probably winning a championship, but also taking it day by day and doing what we need to do to get to there.
Another question I want to ask is, so you're one of those 29s, we said, incoming freshmen, but you played since varsity since 7th and 8th grade. I always find it interesting in Minnesota. Some high schools will let you play at 7th and 8th, some won't. How do you feel it helped you prepare for, like you said, you're kind of coming in now, even as a freshman in a new school, varsity basketball, the Lake Conference. How do you feel kind of getting used to varsity at 7th and 8th grade has helped you kind of continue to grow and be kind of a more developed player, even going into ninth grade?
Yeah, I think that, you know, seventh grade, the schedule is different too. Like if you play like travel ball or whatnot, you
Mm-hmm.
maybe practice twice a week. And I just remember my growth from seventh to eighth grade because of how much basketball I was doing because I just had it every day after school.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember getting so much better and like that definitely helped me on the court then. And I remember I was really nervous my seventh grade year because, I was really small and, I was like, I'm going against these big, like, seniors in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think that definitely helped me, realize that, like, size may not matter. And, like, if I just, trust my teammates, be a dog on the floor, and, just work really hard, that, I can play with them. I do stick with them. And, um, yeah, it's definitely helped me, but yeah.
Fair. And then we'll talk about AAU on the Minnesota Fury. I said that 2029 team of your guys is very strong. You have a lot of the top players, including yourself, in the state. How would you say, like, from the beginning of AAU to where you are now, where did you grow this last season the most as a player?
Um, well, I would say at the beginning of the year, I had like done something to my knee, and like I remember being like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's going on." It was just like so many things were happening, and I just remember like being so sad. Like I was just watching basketball, and that like literally it like wrecked me because I was just like, I just want to go play. Like I don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. And like it kind of made me realize too, like how fortunate I am to play the sport. Like, because I really do love the sport. And I just remember, I had just like a deeper level of appreciation after that. And that carried on into the season. Um, and, I just, I've also grown a lot, in the gym working. I have been working for a year or so on my shooting,
Mm-hmm.
and that's gotten tremendously better. And I'm really proud of myself with that. I'm just gonna keep, getting better with that. Um, I am working right now to increase my endurance and whatnot, and just keep improving all the aspects of my game. But
Love
yeah.
it. Where are some of the best places? I know AAU takes you guys all over the country. Like, you are every coast at any time. Where are some of the favorite places you got to go with AAU this year?
I really enjoyed. We went to Ohio and Pennsylvania, and I really enjoyed Pennsylvania because like it was a spooky nuke facility,
Mm-hmm.
but I really liked the gyms and like near it we had there's like a lot to do and there was like a bunch of Amish that we saw, which was kind of cool.
Fair. We don't see a lot of that around here in the Twin Cities.
No, it was cool seeing the Amish, but we went like up in the downtown area, which is like older and which is fun. There was good places to eat. We went and we saw movies, but also in the Spooky Nuke, they had the best cinnamon pretzels. They were
Oh,
like
it's breakfast time
so.
too. I'm hungry.
It was the best. It was like buttery. It was so good. I remember just getting one every single day. I'm not gonna lie.
You worked it off.
But
You played
those,
AAU. You worked it off. You're fine.
yeah, yeah, you know, cancels out.
Fair.
But I really liked that, and I'm just really excited for next year to actually, play in the circuit then.
So talk about that a little bit. Like, what has you the most excited for like UAA? Like when you've seen the older teams and stuff. Like what about the UAA just feel really challenges you and helps you grow as a player?
Um, I think that unlike the lower, because we weren't playing UAA this year,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked watching the older kids, the 28s, the 27s, 26s, and like seeing, the crowds they can bring in and just
Mm-hmm.
like how much energy was on that floor and like, them all just giving 110%. And I'm super excited to do the same because there are so many good teams and I want to play against, the best of the
Mm-hmm.
best. And doing so that will, get me better and I'm really excited for that. And then also I really want to win
Fair.
um the championship and whatnot. So yeah.
Who are some of the best players you ever had a chance to play with AAU or high school?
Um hmm. Well, I should probably say, does it count for Minnetonka?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Linnell, I'd say. She I think it's more I like look up to her because she, is a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then Linnell is just so fast and quick on her feet. She really good defender. She's such a great leader, and I think I definitely look up to her, and I want to, play that role when I get older. But she does really well. She's a great defender, and she's so quick with the ball, and she like knows what needs to be done, and she gets us there, which I really appreciate her.
I know we talked about one earlier. Who are some of the best players you ever had a chance to play against AAU or high school?
Probably, well, Addie Mack. She was a really good player. She's in Maryland now, but I just remember I didn't know who she was at the time. I was a seventh grader. I didn't really do my
Fair.
research. But she was a really good player. I remember her being really quick. But
Mm-hmm.
I held my own.
Mm-hmm.
um, Tor Orline was a really good player as well.
Mm-hmm.
She was super quick. Her passes are like crazy. They're really good. And she can also finish really well around the rim, it was really impressive. Irma Walker, I
Strong.
just got bodied. I tried to take a charge on her and I didn't realize that I was in the charge circle, so I literally
Oof.
just got beat down. It was super bad, but I tried my best.
Point for effort, but that's a double whammy. Not getting the charge and getting hit by. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Um uh Jordan Odie was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I had to guard her for a little while in that game. I remember that game being not good at all for my team, but
Fair.
she was a really good player. I also think I kind of held my own with that one. But she's obviously big and stuff. Um, I'm trying to think. I played against uh, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. Kale Jenke. She's on
Oh,
S Team
Kale.
A.
Yep, Kale Janke. Yep.
Jenke. I remember having to guard her, and she was a really good. She was a big, but she was also a really good shooter,
Mm-hmm.
and she was really good at post ups. And I definitely admired that with her game. She was really good at that. But I mean, there's so many other different players I could get into, but those are the ones off like the top of my head.
Fair. So I said we'll do some quick hitters now. What's your go-to pregame meal?
I I really like rice cakes.
Fair.
Or like, I get the cinnamon ones because they're like not too heavy, and
Smart.
I think they help with that. Also I like goldfish. If I just need a quick snack, I'll have some goldfish
Oh,
or some
fair.
cereal. I'm a big cereal
Mm-hmm.
person.
Favorite cereal?
Oh my gosh, it's hard. Probably cinnamon checks. Those were really good because they're just like a not as bad version as cinnamon toast crunch,
100%.
and you know
Yeah, 100%.
that's my favorite.
Go-to pregame hype song?
Well, it's hard. I'd say probably anything like Kendrick Lamar, um, in like that kind of region, or like maybe go um a different route with like older songs like rock and stuff like that. I definitely my dad was really big on Metallica and AC/DC and stuff
There
like
we
that.
go.
They have some good songs too for being hype.
I like it. Go-to basketball shoe or preferred basketball shoe?
Um, I've been rocking with Sabrina's lately. I wore them last year. And then I just kind of revisited them this year, and I really like her shoe. I think I play well in them, so I can appreciate that. But usually a Nike shoe. I also really like my Under Armour shoes. Don't get me wrong. They're very breathable, so I can appreciate that as well.
Yeah, if you want to be a shooter, Sabrina's shoes are probably the way to go. I mean, that's no better one to learn from. And that leads
hmm
into my next question. Do you have any WNBA, NBA, college, any other players you model your game after or enjoy kind of emulating their game?
I really enjoy watching Courtney Williams.
Stud buds.
Stud buds, yeah. She's a really good player. She's a really good point guard. You can definitely see her controlling the floor. She has a really good quick like pull up release, and she's also works really hard on offense or defense. Sorry, well both sides of the floor. But and even though she is the smallest one on the court, um, she still works really hard and does not let that like just define her being low. She's short. Um, but yeah, she works really hard. She's a great shooter. She can drive. And she makes really good passes as well. So I definitely really like Courtney Williams and her game and what she brings to the table.
So I always ask this question as an off basketball question. If you would you rather be trapped in a room full of spiders or a room full of snakes? I know what mine is.
How long would I be trapped in there for?
Oh, good question. Good follow up. Let's say 2 hours.
Probably, probably spiders. I feel like I could deal with a bunch of spiders around me.
Fair. That's when people say they'd rather be with snakes. I'm like, I wouldn't last 2 seconds, let alone 2 hours. Are you kidding me? No, no
Yeah.
snakes. No.
Just be like slithering around and like,
Those
like
videos where
no.
people are like wrapped around those massive ones. I'm like, I would
They're gonna choke you.
never. No, thank you. Thank you. Finally, someone gets it. Spiders, you can like smack them away. And yes, spiders. That's
Yeah.
the right answer. So another thing I want to talk about. So, if for people my generation, we used to have this show called American Gladiator. I feel like, am I wrong? Did you do like an American Gladiator type competition or still do American Gladiator type competitions, Izzy? Talk about that. Because I couldn't do
Yes.
that.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of the show American Ninja Warrior,
Yep.
but it's a show. It's a show. It's on TV, and um, that show is for really good athletes and stuff. I don't think I'd ever go on the show, but that's kind of like what ninja is.
Mm-hmm.
But going deeper into that, ninja is there's multiple different like leagues that you can compete in, and it's the same type of obstacle
Mm-hmm.
courses and whatnot as it's on the show and whatnot. But there's ninjas all around the world. And there's local gyms they have. I go to Obstacle Academy. It's over in Eden Prairie, and I've gone there since I was really little. But basically, you train, whatnot, and then you go to different competitions, and there are just qualifiers all around, the country, the
Mm-hmm.
world, whatnot. And depending on how you place in those competitions, like top three or maybe even top five, then you can qualify to go to regionals.
Mm-hmm.
And regionals is in like each what's called like in the Midwest there's one
Mm-hmm.
regional then that everyone will travel to. And and then if you get top three in regionals, then you can move on to go to Worlds. And Worlds have been like a bunch of different places with all different leagues, but they'll usually just be somewhere in the US.
Fair.
But that's kind of how it like works. And then Worlds, obviously. The best I've done at Worlds was I got fourth in the UNAA.
Holy
Um,
cow.
fourth in the UNA. It's called league. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't. Those I've seen those courses. No, thank you. I couldn't do those. I'll cheer and watch them from the sideline. I'm good. Yeah. And then, so we talked about one of the best players in the 29 class, rising freshman, kind of getting noticed. That comes with some recruiting attention. I think someone was
hmm
just somewhere yesterday, if I remember right from a photo. But
hmm
we won't get into specifics. We'll talk about kind of how do you like, with it just starting up, it can get kind of intense, can get kind of stressful. How do you kind of manage that, like making it exciting and understanding how exciting it can be without letting it get too stressful for you for recruiting?
Well, I just like to remember there's like there shouldn't be pressure with this,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I'm so young, but also it's just like more building a connection with,
Mm-hmm.
the coaches that I'm talking to and whatnot, and just, learning more about them, learning more about the program, and I'm not gonna be perfect and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But also just going back to like they do want you, like they wouldn't be, reaching out or whatnot if they didn't want to recruit you.
Mm-hmm.
Just remembering that and just like being confident in myself, knowing that I do have a good personality and they do want to talk to me, but just not trying to put pressure on myself to be, the perfect recruit or whatever. Just like,
Exactly.
you know,
I like
yeah,
I like the sound
that's
of
it.
it. So I won't take your whole morning. I said breakfast is somewhere here. We talked about food here for for a while, but I'll end it with this. What does success mean to you on the court in terms of your basketball career? When you look back, what does success mean to you?
Um, hmm. I think. when you have like certain goals and you achieve them, that's a big part of success for me. I have a lot of goals and where I want to be. And I think that definitely keys into having success and whatnot. Also just going day by day and having the little victories also can help, with success. But um, I I think I just, take it day by day, win each game,
Mm-hmm.
do these certain things on the floor. Like, I've been really trying to increase my IQ, so maybe, trying new things on the court or whatnot. Like, little by little, there's little successes throughout, and that will lead to one, big success, like winning state championship, for AU and high school. Being that key player. I really want to be one of my key players on the Minnetonka team. It's one of my goals. And just achieving those and just getting better every day. I think that is success to me.
I love it. Well, you're well on your way. I cannot wait to see you guys this year. Minnetonka's gonna be such a fun team. Lake Conference gonna be a fun team. You're gonna be a massive part of that depth. That's gonna be in the Lake Conference. Depth is huge. Watch out for Irma screens or don't take charges. Maybe this year, but
Yeah, I will.
or at least make sure we're out of the charge circle. But once again, I can't say thank you enough. I'm so excited. Good luck this year. I'll be in the gym. You'll see me with mom. I'll be at the gym. So thank you so much for your time. You have a fantastic one.
You as well. Thank
Bye.
you for having me.
Absolutely.